Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I've got 3 stories to share with you in this very latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam. And I'll start with this one, which is a delight to see. XRP makes its way back to Taifu 30 crypto index. And so this is an instance where XRP had been removed from an index as a result of the SEC attacking Ripple and ultimately, realistically, attacking all XRP holders. And so there was that legal uncertainty. But now XRP is back, and if you're wondering why, it's taken almost 3 months at this point for them to add XRP. There's actually a pretty reasonable answer to that, which I'll share with you. There's also this headline from the Crypto Basic. Ripple CTO and Deaton give 4 actual legal advice to U.S. crypto projects, and which is an add-on to something that I was actually talking about yesterday. And then there's also this from the Crypto Basic. Harvard releases case study on Ripple business model. And it's fascinating. It'll be, I'll say this too, as interesting as this is, it'll be real neat to just fast forward like 10 years or 20 years and, see how people reflect on stuff like this. Because, they'll have the benefit of hindsight. They'll know where XRP ends up. They'll know what Ripple did specifically with XRP and what all of us did with XRP and all the developers. And it'll be interesting to have that kind of hindsight and look back on the past and be like, yup. And I have a strong suspicion of certain things in terms of adoption and in terms of price action. I just don't make price predictions. But, that's what makes it so fun. Not knowing, but having skin in the game. For me, like very serious skin in the game, from the financial perspective. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so into this first piece now. XRP's back on a crypto index. XRP, the digital currency closely associated with the American blockchain payments company Ripple, has successfully returned to the Taifu 30 crypto index. The Taifu 30 index is a daily recalibrated benchmark showcasing the 30 most valuable cryptocurrencies of the day, determined by their market capitalization. The index recalibrates every day to reflect any changes on the top 30 list. According to an ex-post from Tizen, the co-creator of the iconic market index, the reinclusion of XRP into the index hinges on the premise that the asset is now more accessible to Western traders. And so, with them being an index, and it's not in terms of buying and selling, there wasn't a whole bunch of legal concern. I guess it was, I don't know. I'm not defending their decision to remove it, because I think that there's always been tremendous interest. I mean, it's as evidenced by, the fact that the XRP community is among the largest of crypto communities on the entire damn planet. And so there are even more. I mean, there's literally millions of people that have purchased XRP, but it is what it is. So if it was going to be taken less serious because of the legal uncertainty, I'm just glad to see that it's coming back here. And here's the actual post, and there was a chart on your screen. This is the actual the index here. And so Tizen wrote, today, Ripple, he means XRP, is added back to the Taifu 30 crypto index because it is now reasonably available and accessible to Western traders, and the index rebalances at the beginning of the quarter. And so that's the reason that we didn't see it added sooner. They rebalanced only quarterly, and so they weren't going to change it despite the judge's determination that XRP itself is not a security. So that part is reasonable here. But, it's interesting. So, I mean, you might think it's ridiculous. And to me, on the surface, at least, it seems ridiculous that you'd remove it. Given that it's still, despite the legal uncertainty in the United States, it's got legal clarity everywhere else on the planet. There's no question marks anywhere else. But if their focus is particularly heavy on Western markets, as much as I hate to say it, I can understand if that's the rationale and the people if you're making a business decision and the people that you're trying to attract, they're in Western markets anyway, and they wouldn't have interest in it as much if that's their assumption because they can't even buy it hardly. I mean, unless you go and uphold. I could at least, understand the argument. I still would have want to seen it listed, but it is what it is. And so Then there's also this. Ripple CTO and Deaton give 4 actual legal advice to U.S. crypto projects. Ripple CTO David Schwartz and attorney John Deaton highlight 4 pieces of legal advice the SEC is indirectly giving U.S.-based crypto projects. Okay, so this is going to piggyback off of something that I talked about a little bit in a video yesterday. So I want to cut to the chase because ultimately David Schwartz was sharing his perspective about what the result is of the SEC, taking the approach that they have and just absolutely hammering participants, especially developers, so on and so forth in the crypto space. Like, what do you do if you're trying to launch a crypto project? Like, what would you advise people in such a position here? And so David Schwartz said the following. The net effect is that projects are being given 3 pieces of legal advice. Number 1, avoid anything that would give U.S. regulators jurisdiction. Number 2, avoid truthful disclosure of future plans. Number 3, avoid perception that you are making efforts. How does that protect investors exactly? Okay, and so that part right there, that's the part that I mentioned in a video yesterday. And I think he makes excellent points. Because the truth is, as I asserted yesterday, the SEC is protecting that precisely no one. In fact, they are harming us. They are reducing our financial opportunity in the crypto space. That's what the SEC has actually been doing. But what I didn't cover is what Attorney Deaton added on to this. And that's why I wanted to just take a moment to add on to this. Attorney Deaton reposted what David Schwartz shared on X and wrote the following. Great summary of actual legal advice in the U.S. I would only add, number 4, under no circumstances are you to cooperate with or talk to anyone at the SEC. If they ask for your business name or address, refer them to your attorney. If you get a subpoena, don't immediately comply. Instead, call your attorney. Indeed, sounds like sage wisdom, right? And it's sad that that's the world we live in, but I'm just thankful that moving forward, I know it won't be like this forever. Like I've been saying for some time now, the tide has turned. The writing's on the wall here as far as I'm concerned. XRP's got legal clarity, which means that pretty much every other altcoin out there on the planet is going to end up having legal clarity if it comes under the same circumstances or similar circumstances. It doesn't have to be the same. And then on top of that, just wait to see what happens with Coinbase, because this strengthened Coinbase's case, which is a major choke point in crypto. You chop that down, can't get in and out of crypto. Yeah, that's worse than going after individual coins, but that's probably not going to go well for the SEC, especially if you've seen how the judge in that case has been speaking towards the asshat prick attorneys at the SEC. That judge ain't having it, you know what I'm saying? So it's all good stuff here. But in the meantime, this is the world we live in. I'm just saying, like, I'm not exactly losing sleep over this. Plus, my largest crypto holding, XRP, is the only large cap coin on the entire planet that has legal clarity. This is amazing to me. So yes, I'm upset that, we didn't have a new all-time high in 2021 because of the SEC, but we gonna get ours as far as I'm concerned. And then there's this from the Crypto Basic. Harvard releases case study on Ripple business model. I just thought this was kind of interesting. So reads as follows. A top figure in the XRP community spotlights a Harvard Business School case study on Ripple's business model, noting its implication on Ripple's IPO valuation. In a recent tweet, Crypto Eddie, a prominent XRP influencer, drew attention to a development concerning Ripple from Harvard Business Review. Specifically, Crypto Eddie shared her discovery of a Harvard Business School case study titled Ripple, the Business of Crypto Case, an Analysis and Solution. Harvard Business School professor David B. Yoffe and Andy Wu, alongside Sarah Von Bargen, authored the case study. In the tweet, Crypto Eddie highlighted Harvard's reputation for producing insightful case studies, and in parallel, Harvard argued that its analysis and solution are crafted from scratch by research students and are free from plagiarism. Moreover, Crypto Eddie expressed a conviction that the Harvard case study would impact Ripple's initial public offering. Notably, this process determines the fair market value of a company's shares before they are offered to the public. And so the case study delves into the mission of Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and highlighted that Garlinghouse aims to disrupt the global payments industry by harnessing the power of XRP. And so, folks, as I've said, XRP is at the core of all of this. And it's what I was saying earlier in the video. I would just love to have the benefit of hindsight of just somebody 20 years from now, somebody in the year 2043. That would just be fantastic. Because I can only imagine what XRP would be worth at that point. Because either we're all disastrously wrong and XRP at that point is worth 0, or it's worth a freaking fortune. To me, it's binary. It's not going to flutter around 50-cent region forever. Because even if it were, like for some prolonged period of time, it would fall out of the top 10 as everything else continues to move to the upside. People would lose interest, and then it would still ultimately go to 0, even if it fluttered around here for a prolonged period of time. It still goes to 0. So that's why I keep saying, to me, it is binary. And so all of this attention, like the people in the know are paying attention. Like I get it, Harvard University looking at Ripple and what they're doing with XRP. We are paying attention, but we're in the minority. Yes, millions of people have purchased XRP for a little over a decade now that it's been publicly available. But it's far less than 1% of the human population has ever held XRP. We are in a very rare position here. All of us as XRP holders. And to me, that's exciting. To me, that represents opportunity. And the multiplier effect's going to come when this thing hits. And then it's going to be presented as though, oh, it's so obvious. Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the utility of XRP and the blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it looks obvious in hindsight, but we're here saying it, we're going against the grain when we're being yelled at by idiot Bitcoin maximalists and people who just don't get it, and even people who are just anti-crypto in general, but we are here. So we deserve whatever we get, good or bad, but I'm just saying I'm optimistic it's probably going to be really good. We'll see what happens. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.